It's that time of year. It's soup time. I'm Tess, and tonight I'm making an easy chicken corn chowder. You can have this classic chowder ready in about 40 minutes, including prep time. Stay tuned. If you still have fresh corn available in your area, this chicken corn chowder is a delicious, comforting recipe to make. I'm using 6 nice-sized ears of bicolor corn. You can use white corn, but we find it tends to be too sweet. And if you don't have fresh corn, don't worry. You can use frozen or canned corn in this recipe. It's all good. I'm cutting off the corn and also making sure I milk the cobs for all the corn milk. This adds a lot of flavor to the chowder, and you could even save the cobs and cook them in the chowder. In my pan on medium heat, I'm adding in 3 tablespoons of butter, 1 small finely diced onion, and 2 stalks of celery. You could also add in some diced red bell pepper or carrots for a little more color. Cooking and stirring for a couple minutes, and then I'm adding in 2 strips of diced bacon. You can use any bacon that you like, and I happen to be using beef bacon. Adding just a little salt and black pepper. Cooking and stirring for 3 to 4 minutes, or until the bacon starts to render and release its fats and flavor. The bacon is going to add a nice mild smoky flavor to the chowder. To help thicken the chowder, I'm adding in 3 tablespoons of flour. Cooking and stirring for a minute, or until the flour is absorbed and starts to stick to the bottom. I'm slowly adding in a total of 5 cups of chicken broth. I'm using my homemade chicken broth, and I know it doesn't have a lot of salt, but if you are using a boxed or canned chicken broth, just make sure you choose a low sodium broth and be careful in the amount of salt that you add to the chowder. This is optional, but I'm also boosting the flavor with a teaspoon of Than Bouillon chicken, giving that a good stir and turning my heat up to bring this up to a simmer. I'm keeping the seasoning simple and adding in 1 teaspoon of parsley and a little more black pepper for now. This is about a half a cup of the peeled and diced potatoes that I am using. I'm adding in a little of the potatoes now because they will cook down and help thicken and add a creaminess to the chowder along with the corn. Also, if you want more corn flavor, now is the time to add in those corn cobs, and you can take them out before the next step, bringing this up to a simmer and cooking for 10 minutes. Now I'm adding in 1½ cups of whole milk, giving that a stir and turning my heat up again to bring this up to a simmer. I peeled and diced 3 medium russet potatoes into about 1/4-inch pieces. This is the rest of the potatoes. The potatoes and corn will take about 10 to 15 minutes to cook. I'm bringing the chowder up to a simmer and cooking the potatoes for a couple minutes, and then I'm adding in the corn with all the corn milk. Giving that a good stir, and you can see with the starch from the potatoes and the corn that the chowder is starting to thicken nicely. Give the chowder a taste and add any seasonings. I'm adding in another teaspoon of parsley. Bringing this up to a simmer and cooking for 10 minutes or until both the corn and potatoes are tender. You still want a little pop in the corn kernels. Be careful not to overcook the corn. In the last 5 minutes of cooking, you can smash some of the potatoes and corn up against the wall of the pot. This will help thicken the chowder if you wish. The chowder is looking and smelling really good. We can eat the corn chowder like this, but I happen to have some leftover rotisserie chicken. I'm adding in about 2 cups of cooked white and dark meat chicken. I made them roughly bite-sized pieces. Adding in a little more salt and black pepper. At this point, if you are using canned or frozen corn, you can add about a half a cup of heavy cream to get the creaminess that is naturally coming from the fresh corn. Giving that a stir to combine and cooking for another minute just to heat the chicken through and then removing from the heat. Remember, you don't want to overcook the potatoes or corn. This chicken corn chowder is a great comfort food that is easy to make, and the entire family will love it. The bacon adds a nice smoky background. I love all the creaminess and texture from the potatoes and corn, and the corn still has a little snap. The chicken rounds it off to a complete meal. You better count on 2 bowls per serving. It really is that good. I hope you give this chicken corn chowder a try and enjoy. If you like this video recipe, please hit the like and subscribe button. Remember to hit the bell next to the subscribe to make sure that you get my future video recipes. You can also find me on Facebook and at my website. Feel free to share this recipe and my channel with your friends and family. And until next time, much love!